Hello everybody, it's Jason F. Smith here again. We're at the Smith's parking lot, heading out back home with a load full of groceries. You probably don't give a shit about that, do you? But this gives me an opportunity to talk to you about something pretty cool. So the other day, just recently, and this week, one of my favorite people of all time, a teacher based in Los Angeles, she put up this podcast. So I don't know when it was recorded or anything like that, but in it, she talked about something really cool. And I want to talk to you about it. And she talked about the difference between presence and depth. So presence and depth. There's a lot of exercises that we teach in the workshops. I can take a man and in 5 minutes less help him change his presence in the room immediately. And this is done very simply. It's posture, it's eye gazing, and it's breath. There are some esoteric pieces to it, softening your heart and filling the room with your consciousness that take practice. But as soon as you kind of become aware of the room as a whole, I can feel the back space where my groceries are. I can feel the seat to the right of me. I can feel the two back seats. I can feel under the engine compartment. I can feel the air in the tires. And this is not as esoteric as it sounds. It's literally just putting my awareness on them. So it would be just the same as putting my awareness on my dog, Cinder. So now I'm feeling her. Putting my awareness on my woman, Jenny, and now I'm feeling her. You just start to kind of think about them, and then you do it with a soft heart, and it absolutely, you can start to feel them. Now, there's years and years of practice, and I'm getting totally off track with this, but I love those feeling out exercises. So that's presence. That's presence, and you can develop it. There's a great exercise by Chogyam Trungpa, Buddhist meditation master, just brilliant, and it's very simple. It's like breathing in. You meditate, you get in a good posture, you just breathe in and you feel into your body, and then when you breathe out, you feel out. And when you feel out, you do exactly what I just said. You just put your consciousness on things. So you feel out to the mountain. So you feel down into the valley. You feel up into the atmosphere. You feel down into the earth. And you just, as you do this, you become much more sensitive to your environment. It's a practice, and you start to actually kind of feel and sense things around you. I grew up being a huge fan of Magic Johnson of the LA Lakers. In the 80s, when I was a kid, I was a huge basketball fan, and Magic was it, man. He was the bomb. And I came from Los Angeles while I lived in Utah, so I loved the Lakers. And one of the cool things about Magic was he had a sense of the court. And I'm not really into basketball right now, so there's probably some modern day basketball players who are really good in the same vein, but I'm using Magic because that's who I remember, right, from my childhood. So he could feel and sense where people were in the court. He literally had this ability to pass the ball and not even look. He was the king of the no-look pass. He'd look one way and throw it the other way and right into people's hands. He was just absolutely a magic man to watch on the court. And so that is a masculine skill that can be developed. And he took up space in an area by his posture, by his gaze, by the tone of his voice, by the depth of his breath, and by his feeling out. So that's presence, and it's really powerful in business, it's powerful in intimacy, it's powerful with yourself, because you're feeling into the field all around you, and you become much more attuned to what is going on. You've met people who are totally collapsed inside themselves, and they're clumsy, they're hitting into things, and they're introverted. And spiritually, they're turned into I don't know, I'm seeing a man in his body turned inside out, so that their guts are on the outside, but they're trying to hide it, and they're very overly sensitive, and they're just withdrawn, and they're scared all the time. So a presence exercise to feel out is to start the first processes of, of non-dual philosophy, of seeing the horses here. You can't see them, but I can see them, and feeling them, and then feeling the sheep. And there's a degree to which the differentiation between us, the separation disappears, and it's actually just we're one. And in life, that's like navigating through the basketball court of life. It's like surfing the court and feeling every moment of it, and it allows for a navigation, and it's very trustable in a man, it's trustable in a woman who can feel the full space and fill it. So what's depth, right? And in this podcast, this teacher, she is talking about, the difference between these two, and it's really important because some people mistake one for the other. They're all like, hey, I can feel out and I'm deep. And that's just total fucking bullshit. There's no correlation between the two. In fact, depth to me is there's two pieces to depth. I'm going to go into them real quickly because we're about to run out of time here. Two pieces to depth. One is when you're oriented towards the bottom to the fourth stage of the maturity continuum, which goes from selfishness, the dependent selfish state, through to independence, to interdependence, the we, and then to integration. So the more you drop your sense of self and are able to live as the world, it's a philosophical thing, it's an esoteric thing, but I just kind of told you how to do it. The more but in this case, it's not just filling the room with your awareness, it's dropping the shit in your system and your egoic pieces that keep you separate from others. So depth is achieved through a process of maturity, of spiritual maturity, where your needs are taken care of and you no longer need to be seen in the world, and you're oriented towards giving, and you're sensitive to the world and to its place, and you're coming from a place of giving. When you're worried about yourself, you're shallow. When you're starting to feel into others, you're getting deeper. And when you're a living sacrifice of art, then you're as deep as you can be as a human, so that with your special human signature. You can't forget that part. The second piece is that you're not afraid to vibrate on all of the human levels. And what I mean by that specifically is that we all have animal sides, we have mammal sides, and then we have these spiritual sides, the three brains as I call them. And deep people are not afraid of their dark vibrational animal side. So those are the two sides, two coins of the same thing, of depth. And it is not the same as presence. So I've just got home. I had a great time talking to you. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll catch you the next time we go out for a run, walk, or a talk.